Alright guys, what is up? I owe y'all a video. So, first of all, life update. A bunch of my videos were in the snow. That's not gonna happen anymore. So I got moved from Michigan to Dallas, Texas with my job. I moved, been here like a couple days, over a month. Love it. First of all, you guys have car shows like every weekend. And I know there's gonna be big trucks down here, so I love that. All kinds of car people down here. It looks, got the crazy hair on. Got the sun shining in. I'll take it. Sun shining in my truck. We love that. All my friends back in Michigan, they have had a blizzard over the last like week. So they're not very happy with me posting, passive aggressive videos in the sunshine on my Snapchat, letting them know that it's not that here. So, I owe you guys a video. I posted on my Instagram page that we're going to talk about the BDS Fox 2.5-inch reservoir coilover leveling kit I got on here before I left. We'll talk about like 10 to 15,000 mile review on the Kenda Klever tires that I got. I made a separate video when I first got those tires. After 10 to 15,000 miles, I owe you guys an update on those tires. And we'll talk about a couple other things, like I got some different wheels on this truck, but we'll go over all of that. So first off, let's talk tires. So on my Jeep Wrangler, I had a decked out Jeep Wrangler that I had 5 Nitto Ridge Grappler tires on it. Now the bill on 5 of them was not pretty. And honestly, every time I took the Jeep in to get the tires rotated, because I do that like religiously, because obviously they're expensive, that's what you should be doing. Every time I took them in, they were like different. Like they had just a little bit off, whatever, it was a rear wheel drive vehicle. So every time I would get them rotated, the back tires were just a little bit less than the front tires, which is obviously the purpose of getting them rotated. But it was kind of annoying that you're like, I'm doing it religiously. I'm taking them in, I'm getting my tires rotated, and they're different every single time. For a super expensive tire, it was just bothering me. So I decided when I got this truck that I wanted to try some different tires, some tires that weren't so expensive but still had good ratings. And I ended up on the Kenda Klevers. I recommend watching that video separately. I made a video when I first put them on the truck. So now I'm 10 to 15,000 miles with those tires. I went through one full winter. This is my daily driver truck to work and back. My commute was usually around 15 minutes. I think it ends up being something like 20 miles round trip, 18 to 20 miles round trip when I was in Michigan. Please excuse, I'm looking at myself. Please excuse the bags around my eyes. I look pale as hell. Damn. You wouldn't know that I get so dark you'd question if I was a white person or not during the summer when you're looking at me now. The tan I have is these eye bags, so my God, y'all are suffering having to watch me with these bags around my eyes. I look like a commercial for not working yourself into the ground. Anyway, so I bought the Kenda Klever tires because they were a little bit cheaper, still had great ratings. Wanted to see what it was all about. They had thinner sidewall too than the Ridge Grapplers that I had on the Wrangler. So, daily driving, whole winter, towed a U-Haul down here with all my stuff in it when I moved to Dallas from Michigan last month. Every single time I take this truck in, first of all, I'm going to recommend Ford Pass to any of you that are watching this and have a Ford truck. I take my truck into a Ford dealership. They do a full inspection. They rotate the tires. They do, obviously, a full, semi-synthetic oil change, the whole 9 yards. And because I have Ford Pass, it always ends up coming out to like $53, anywhere from $50 to $55, depending on the time. And I get the points on my Ford Pass, and then next time my Ford Pass reminds me, hey, you're due for an oil change, because I don't wait till the truck lets me know. I go off of my Ford Pass and get it all done in one swoop for a good amount of money. And I've gotten my brakes done on that Ford Pass too, and it gave me a ton of points, and it gave me a big discount. And anyway, if you have Ford, highly recommend Ford Pass. So each time I have done that and gone into the Ford dealership and gotten all that done, got my tires rotated, they give me a full checklist of, you know, the measurements for my tires and basically a whole health sheet, like a doctor's appointment for my truck. These Kenda Klevers have been exactly the same every single time that I get my wheels rotated. Now, I only have 4 in this truck, and then I have the stock tire underneath as the spare. But I drove, again, from Michigan down to Dallas with a trailer on the back of this thing. Took my truck in to get an oil change when I got down here because I was due after being down here for like a week and a half. Same tread depth on all 4, all the way around. So not only are Kendas cheaper, they are, I'm going to say, easily just as good, but in my personal experience, better than the Nitto Ridge Grapplers. And to go in after all that and have the same tread depth, boy, I'm happy. And I will put a video on here. I'll do a walk around of all 4 of the tires so that you can actually physically see them as well after. I think it's been 15,000 miles since I made that first video, including the, you know, pulling the heavy trailer all the way across the country. So I don't have enough good things to say about these tires. When I get through them, I'll just buy them again. Very, very impressed. Having spent a ton of money on the Nitto Ridge Grapplers and then spending not nearly as much money on these and getting like so much more quality out of them, my money's going to keep going here. You guys do what you want to do, but that's just my personal review as someone who's had the really expensive, highly rated, and the not super popular but well rated so far cheaper option. I'm gonna be getting these all day. All right, so if you see me looking off screen, it's because I have the full invoice for when I got the BDS Coilover leveling kit and got the new wheels that I'm going to show you guys. So I'm a DIY person. Obviously, that's why I have this channel, but there's some things that I just don't want to DIY, and this is one of those things. So to buy the kit base off of BDS, it's $3,100. And so I ordered it through this shop, and I got the kit. I got the 2-inch coilover leveling kit. I actually ended up purchasing the ones with the reservoir instead of without. And then I figured while they were under there, I ended up just getting the regular Fox shocks for the rear. They also performed an alignment after putting all of this on. And my total was $2,857.40 because there was actually a discount for ordering this kit through the shop that I went to. If any of you guys are in Michigan, this is the Topper shop in Greenville, Michigan, and I highly, highly recommend. I talked to them on Facebook Messenger about what I'd like to do. They tell me a quote of about what I would be looking at. Every time I've gotten a invoice emailed to me before the work is done, it's exactly the same when I go in and the work's actually completed. So there's no like hidden fees and all that BS. They're very honest. They do great work. They, like I said, they installed the leveling kit and got my alignment done, and they got me a discount on the parts. Now, what I did notice is these shocks, one, they're all set up and ready to slap on an F-150, so if you have one of those, that's a bonus. But one of the things I did notice is it's very stiff while you're breaking these shocks in. I see a lot of people getting the Rough Country Vertex coilovers because they can adjust that, and so they don't necessarily have that stiff ride right off the bat because they can choose with the knob that's on there, they can choose the softness or stiffness of their ride. The reason I chose to go with these is, one, I like the reviews on Fox, even though they're a little more expensive than the Vertex coilovers. I knew they were going to be stiff at first and they were going to take a while to break in. honestly, they probably took almost 800 miles for me to 1,000 miles for me to really feel like they were broken in. But Fox shocks can be rebuilt. So I was picturing if I got the Vertex coilovers and then they needed to be replaced down the line, then I'm buying them. You know, maybe 2 more times in the span of my truck's life. But the Fox, I can just have them removed, have the shock rebuilt, have them put back on. So to me, I would rather spend the money on something that is good in the first place, but 2, can be repaired and reinstalled, as opposed to having to buy the entire assembly over again. Now later, so I got the kit installed, and so it says that I can fit 35-inch tires on there with that kit, with the leveling kit. I did notice that on a full turn, like if you're in a tight parking lot or something, there is some rub. And I only have 33-inch tires. I don't have 35-inch tires. So I did a little bit of plastic trimming, but for the most part, the thing that solved the issue was I got 1.5-inch spacers from Supreme Suspensions and put those in there until I could get some solid wheels with a negative offset. So I'm personally not a fan of the idea of wheel spacers. I'd rather spend the money and get something like a negative offset wheel. But what I was dealing with is everything is like nationally, excuse me, playing with my little bull ring. This is bothering me. What I've noticed is everything is like nationally back ordered, like 6 to 8 weeks at least. And there's people like paying deposits to be able to have it as soon as it comes in. So then that 6 to 8 week back order continues. So I put 1.5-inch wheel spacers on there and was like, these are temporary. I'm going to install them properly. I'm just doing a daily commute to and from work. So when I can get the wheels I want, then I'll go ahead and do that. So I ended up going through that same shop that did my BDS leveling kit. And they were able to order, I got Fuel Militia wheels, and I'm going to read this exactly to you as it gets ordered, okay? I got 4 of them. They're the Fuel wheel. They're the Militia model. I got the gunmetal gray color. They also have them in black. They are 20 by 10, 6 by 135 for your lug nut measurements. And I got them in a -18 offset. So again, that's another thing that I wanted done thoroughly by a shop. So it was also on sale. So I got those wheels. I saw them online for like over $400 a piece, but when I ordered them through this shop, I got 4 of them and I only paid $350 a piece. And then they also included getting new sensors put in each of the tires with the change of the rims. And then they also ordered me new lug nuts. And then after putting all of that on, they also charged me for a mount and balance for the wheels and tires. All together, so that's for wheels, sensors, new lug nuts, and then mount and balance. All together, I paid $1,716.50, and that is after tax. So here's that sheet. There's that bottom corner where I'm reading you the charges. So, and I keep these sheets just so that if I ever got my truck appraised or something and somebody tries to screw me, I'll be like, I know what's on it. So you're not gonna screw me. Let me see here. Okay, so now I'm going to go outside of the truck and I'm going to show you guys everything that we just talked about, okay? So we got the BDS Fox Coilover reservoir leveling kit with the rear shocks in the back. I have the Militia wheels, 20 by 10, -18 offset, and they're wrapped with the Kenda Klever tires that I've made a separate video about. So I'm going to show you the life of the tires, how sharp the wheels look, and what -18 offset looks like with those tires that I have. Now I'm not going to go over the details of the tires themselves because I have a separate video on that from when I first bought them and got them installed on the truck. So let me get outside and show you guys what everything looks like. I'll go in the wheel well and everything so you can see what the setup looks like. If you have an F-150, you're going to be able to see where they will mount your reservoir. If you get any kind of reservoir lift kit, whether it's King Shocks with a reservoir, if you go with the same one as mine, as a BDS Fox Coilover reservoir, I will get down in there and show you what all of that looks like. Alright, so quick shout out to the Chemical Guys bucket. I use this as a seat almost every time I wash my vehicle. Not only does it store everything, but it's a great seat. So, alright, this is what the Fuel Militia wheels look like. This is the gunmetal gray option. So on this cap, there is a Allen wrench spot, 2 of them that are side by side. That takes the cap off, and then you have all of your lug nuts in there. And this is how the tires are looking. To me, these things still look like the day I put them on. And then there's, if y'all can see, that's that rear shock set up in the back. And then, yeah, here's the treads on these. I mean, I still have plenty in there. Again, and they worn evenly on all 4 tires. I mean, they look just like when I freaking put them on here the first time. I cannot recommend these enough. Alright. Let's move up here, talk about this section a little bit. Again, here's the front tire, still looking like the day I bought them. Alright, let me see if I can get in here. So here is that coilover. Now, the other reason to order this kit from BDS is they sent these beefy, I mean, this is like my hand, beefy upper control arms to go with these. And then there's the reservoir. They don't put it up here. 1, there's not a great amount of rim on the F-150, but 2, you don't have any kink in the reservoir hose. And then if you can see it down there, let me see if I can give you a better view. That is where they mount the reservoir. On the F-150. Some trucks, they mount it in different places. I think Chevy, they mount it on top up here. So, there's how that looks. It's a little dirty under there, but you get the idea. So the shock that sits inside of there is what they can remove and rebuild, and then put the setup back in there. Of course, if you need new springs, you could always slap one on at that time too. Another thing, see this gap here now? So they said you can fit 35-inch tires and stuff under here. What I'm going to bring up is when I first got these on and I tried to put my hand behind my tire, I could feel that my finger was getting wedged in here. So there was some rub on that upper control arm with the stock tires. So keep that in mind, that if you have the stock tires on here, does the wheel fit? Yes. Are you gonna have some rubbing? Probably right here. And then also I had some trim rubbing on the bottom on a full turn, like when you're in a tight parking lot. So keep in mind, you might have rubbing here and you might have rubbing here if you don't get some kind of offset tire. So while we're on the subject of offset, the Militia wheels are a -18 offset, and this is what that looks like. So it's not poked out a ton, nothing drastic, but I can still do a full turn in a parking lot, and it still has an aggressive look to it. Also, I had some people comment on the Alpha X lights. They're still working fantastic. This eBay purchase, the Ford Raptor grill, also fantastic. And all of my lights work together. The ones in the mirrors, that I have a separate video of that install. All of these here, and then the outside ones here. I ordered that little badge on Etsy. If any of you want something similar, 3D printed on Etsy. Now I'm gonna do a full walk around of Angus, just cause he's so damn pretty. BDS stickers up on the window. Got BDS suspension on the back. Okay, so that is all I have for you for information for that. If you have any questions, want updates, what is in my hair? Ick. Where are you? Got you. Fuzzy. Not that anything would get stuck in this rat nest. So that's all I've got for you guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop it in the comment below. Or go to the Mackenzie Customs Instagram page. You guys can reach out to me in DM. I will get back to you. I try to be good about getting back to comments. Definitely will keep an eye on the DMs on Instagram. If there's anything else you want me to cover in more detail, just go ahead and let me know. I got no problem with that. It's just a matter of me getting the time to do that. The gap between my last videos and now was getting ready to move across the country and just working an ungodly amount because I'm a workaholic, and that's why I get to have things like this. When people say daddy's money, I just roll my eyes because that's fine. Think your thoughts, but it's mommy's money. I'm mommy. So, yeah, comment, reach out to me, let me know what you want to see, and hopefully if there's people around here in Dallas, Texas, which I know there are, doing car shows and truck shows and all that stuff, I would love to meet some people and just basically nerd out about vehicles because I love them. So thanks. Bye, y'all.